landlord buzz here at the National Landlord Investment Show at Olympia in London here during June, and I'm very pleased now to be joined by one of the show sponsors. It's Nova Financial and MD Paul Mahoney. And Paul, you've been a long-time supporter of the show. Why is that?
It's been great for us. I think we started doing it in early 2015 when they kind of just kicked off. And we've built with the show, really. We had a little stand in the back at the start, and now one of the main sponsors with 2 tables, and we're doing all the talks and all that sort of thing. Look, it's been great for us over the years, so obviously that's why we keep coming back.
Fantastic. Now, how important is it for landlords to take a day away from their business to come to an event such as this?
I think it's absolutely important. I think it's important for any business, not just landlords, but I think people get too caught up in working in their business rather than on their business. And this is an opportunity for landlords and the businesses here alike to more so work on the business.
There's so much to be learned here, so much networking possibilities, the chance to meet businesses such as yourself. So for landlords, I think part of the mindset of a landlord is to be committed to constant learning and personal development.
Yeah, absolutely. The market's changing as well. I think everyone will agree on that. What worked 5 years ago doesn't work today in a lot of cases. So you do need to keep up to date with those changes, and a lot of the talks and a lot of the businesses that are here specialise in helping people better understand that.
Yeah, and be a better landlord and have a more efficient business.
Exactly.
Now tell us a little bit about Nova Financial. What do you do? How do you serve the landlord community?
Okay, so we've effectively taken the IFA model and applied it to property. So we advise on every aspect of property investment, from helping people better understand their current situation and their goals. What's point A, what's point B, how are you going to get there? So the strategy of things, but then also implementing the strategy. So property sourcing, finance and management, and then building a portfolio to work toward goals. We essentially help and advise our clients through every step of that process.
So to me that sounds very much kind of like wealth planning, and that you want to develop a long-term relationship with your clients and support them all through their property journey.
That's exactly right, and that's probably how most people would recognise a service like ours. It just so happens that we've applied it to property as the vehicle.
Now, you are also a published author.
I am.
And I have to congratulate you on having your book published. I know what a commitment it is to write a book, so I take my hat off to you.
I'd love to say it was easy, but it wasn't.
No, I know. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Okay, so the book is effectively our approach to property. It starts out by talking people through what all of their investment options are, not just property, the ups and downs of each, and also pensions. And that sort of results in why we view property, we'll leverage property more specifically, as the best option for the broadest range of people. And then it talks people through how to go about that successfully and really builds in complexity. So it goes through the fundamentals, then some of the tax and also the ownership structures, why it's very good for business owners, and then it rounds the book out by talking about the importance of giving back. So, I think in my opinion, once you start to earn some money, you have a duty to help others. So,
yes, fantastic. What's the name of the book?
It's called The Property Pension Plan.
Fantastic. Now, you personally, do you invest in property yourself? What's your personal relationship with property?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is financial planning. And coming from a finance background, I used to invest a lot in equities and sort of discovered myself that it was a difficult market. And now, yes, I'm a landlord and I'm continuing to grow my portfolio in property, so very much following our own methodology.
So clearly there are challenges and headwinds for landlords, and I think that in this day and age they probably do need more support than ever before, and clearly companies like Nova are there to help and support landlords to grow, because I think it's harder to grow a portfolio now.
Yeah, absolutely. It used to be a very DIY activity. People would do their own research, they'd go and source their own properties, and it would kind of work, because it was easier to make money in property. There's now a very big difference between what works and what doesn't. And obviously I believe that the methodology and the strategies that we use still work quite well in the current market.
Now, you've got an event coming up where it's a kind of evening with Paul, where you can go and meet him, meet some other experts, and find out more about his book. We'll put a little link below it on the video below. But I guess, Paul, Are you still feeling confident about buy-to-let in the UK despite all these challenges and headwinds and speed bumps?
In the right circumstances, yes. There is obviously tough markets at the moment, especially London. It's hard to justify a successful buy-to-let investment, especially as a new purchase in London at the moment. But there are other areas that are still doing really well. So it's I think too many people look at the property market as a whole, and it's really not. At the moment, it's very much two speed, or even more numbers of speeds. It's all moving at different paces for different reasons. So, in the right situation with the right strategy, buying in the right areas, yes, you can still do very well in property. And I'm still very positive that over the coming years, people can still be making a lot of money investing in property.
Well, as you say, I think it could be a 20-speed market. That it can vary from street to street. We've got loads of little micro markets, and I totally agree with you that it's wrong to look at the kind of whole, just say a blanket over the whole thing, because it's very micro market.
I also think that a lot of people that are based in London kind of have the blinkers on about London being the whole country, and they look at the news of London falling in property price and assume the whole country is like that, and it's really not.
There's also the B word, Brexit.
Yeah.
That causes uncertainty, but I know from 15 years in property myself that if you choose to look hard enough, there's always an angle, there's always opportunity.
Yeah, and there's always a reason not to do something as well. And Brexit's the current one. Next it'll be Easter and Christmas, and there's always a reason to hold off. But in my opinion, property investment is about time in the market rather than time in the market. Because, yes, Brexit could be quite negative, but also we could get quite a strong run once all this is resolved. Because all that pent-up demand in the market, people still want to buy, but they're kind of holding off at the moment.
I really like that saying, time in the market, not timing the market. Is that from your book?
It's in the book, yeah. I don't know whether I made it up, but I've stolen it.
I like that. I might have to start using that one myself. Just to finish then, Paul, what would be your number one tip for Property Tribe's viewers who are thinking of either starting out in buy-to-let or certainly expanding their portfolios?
Well, I've got lots of tips, but I think the number one is don't try to do it yourself. Seek out specialist professional advice and get an understanding of what, don't necessarily just engage with the first people you speak with, but get an understanding of what's being said so far as what works in the current market. Take your blinkers off, don't just invest around the corner from home, because that might not be the right place for you. So expand your horizons, get advice, and make the right decisions.
I think that brings us full circle back to the show, because that's one of the other advantages of the show, is that you can talk to lots of different people, get lots of different inputs, and then kind of make up your own mind. And I think that's the healthiest way forward.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's why these shows are so popular, because there is real legitimate information that is actually really helpful.
Fantastic. Well, lovely speaking to you. Thank you for your support of the Landlord Investment Show and also the wider landlord community through education. And good luck with your book.
Thanks very much.
Lovely chatting to you.